Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a wonderful night of Sky Tear. This is Ian, and with me tonight is Clinton. Hello, Clinton.
How's it going? Excited for a late night edition, after dark version of Skytear.
Uh-oh, after dark. This could get spicy. Well, it's guaranteed to be spicy because tonight we have the America's October Clash. We know it's November, but this is the October Clash, and we have the finals. And tonight we have Eric and Chris, aka Wiwwt and cdubs, going at it for the championship. And we are ready to get things rolling. So, Clinton, why don't you tell us a little bit about the lineups that these guys are bringing tonight?
Yeah, so first up we got C-Dub's list. It looks like he's bringing a Freyhill, Shalavi, Nelikin, Estrida, Takali, and Zakol as his lineup.
So, are
His
we
first,
thinking a good revenge list? Is that what we're probably thinking?
it looks like he has the option to do some kill if he needs to. We can probably expect there's going to be a little bit of dome action going on with having Hunting for Power and Skytear Master out there, and double kill. So he has the ability to bring in some mages to be able to do that final blow to the outsider if he needs to. But he still has the ability to have Takali and Estrada to protect the lanes if he needs it as well.
Yeah, and it's important
And
to note
then,
that Eric did win the toss, and he elected to go second. If anybody that's watched Eric play, you know that he much prefers to be the second player and act last.
yeah, and he's bringing Ekrit, Estrada, Brovlar, Freyhill, Shalavi, and Korjov. Even though that's what they brought, it doesn't matter. We can kind of look and start talking about what they actually brought to the table today. So C-Dubs went first. Looks like he brought Freyhill as his first pick. And then Eric ended up bringing Freyhill and Brovlar. And then C-Dubs responded with, I think it was Zakol and Neliklin.
Yep.
And then Eric picked Korjov as his fourth member. So looks like both of them have fairly aggressive decks. It's going to be a lot of beatdown. I think that the lanes, there's going to be a little bit of tension here and there to keep a little pressure on, but most of the action, we're going to see it right there in the center of the dome.
Yeah, this is going to be a good battle, and we got some people talking in the chat already. Michael and Greg and Joe, thanks for joining us. I'll have the chat up, so feel free and chat with us on this Skytear After Dark. All right, it looks like the players have shuffled up and going through
And
some
C-Dubs
mulligans
will
right
be
now.
going first. Eric always loves to have that second position to be able to decide what's going to happen. Looks like C-Dubs got rid of a Psychic Shield and what was the other card? And a Biting Times.
Okay, so he's tossing out his 0 mana cards.
Mm-hmm.
And be looking for
Needs
something
to make sure he
lead.
finds a 3 in that opening hand, right?
Yep.
All valuable 3 mana card. In terms of mana, it looks like Eric with this lineup has about a 2.06 mana curve, where C-Dubs with his lineup, run the stats on that, has a 1.4 mana. So Eric has the advantage there when it comes to mana.
We have a question in from the chat, and I think this is probably for you, Clinton. What do we expect to be more aggressive tonight? Is it going to be C-Dub's game plan or your beard? I wasn't aware you had a beard.
Oh yeah, I do. I definitely have an aggressive beard, just as aggressive as my playstyle.
Got it. You know, it's interesting. We play all these games with people, and we really start to know a lot of people, but we don't know what anybody looks like. This is crazy.
Yeah, where normally we would actually maybe see each other in person at, the World Championship or something like that, where this year we're going to have to keep social distancing going and do it across the tabletop table.
Yeah, indeed. So I think all the players have done their mulligans, and we are ready for some Sky Tear. Tim agrees that definitely your beard is going to be the most aggressive play tonight.
Yeah. I love how this is now going to turn into something.
It's the new memes. Get the memes going, folks.
Yeah. So what do you send in? You send in the shielded up Zakol goes in the middle maybe, or does he save Zakol to maybe risk pushing him out of the dome?
Man, I think you have to go into the dome with someone, right? And he doesn't have a big 2 armor guy. Um, so it's going to be a risky play either way, but you got to do it because Eric's going to be willing to throw all 4 people into this dome. So I don't expect anybody to touch a lane this round.
So the interesting thing here is normally when you're going up against that blue and they got the flux, they have the opportunity to play a presence turn 1. It's something always to be concerned about. However, the 3 presence that cdubs brings to this game is all on Takali. So he does not have presence for turn 1 presence into the dome.
That is a really interesting note because I think that could come into play not just in even turn 1, but the rest of this game without presence. Is Eric going to have his presence in this list? I assume it's maybe on Brilvar.
Yeah, I think it's on Brovlar. I'm looking it up right now.
All right. So it does look like cdubs went in with Shalavi into the dome. And
no, Freyhill is the one that brings it, by the way. But he does have it. He does have 3 of them.
So Eric's throwing in with Brilvar going right at Shalavi with a move in and an attack.
Got to do what Brovlar loves to do, which is taunt those enemies.
You bet. And there's that last action worship. It looks like a trigger for the revenge, and Brilvar took 1.
Interesting putting Shalavi out there, maybe hoping to bait them all out and do a little bit of attack to all of them if they all try to attack. The only benefit that Eric has is he does have 2 heroes that are ranged, so they might be able to stay away a little bit and prevent those revenge damages from happening.
Sure. Now, you've played a lot of games against cdubs here recently, right?
Yes.
So is this the same kind of list he's been running that you've been facing him against?
No, he likes to switch it up.
Okay.
I think in the Clash and a couple of the other ones, it seemed like he had a tendency to maybe bring decks that might be better against other people's play styles. I think a lot of people might know my style of play, so he brought a little bit more red heroes when he faced me, and it was also on Ashen Pass, so it's a little bit different deck type.
Okay.
But he didn't have all the blue heroes like you have here.
Gotcha. So I know that these revenge decks have been seeing a lot of heavy play recently, and I don't expect that to stop. It's such a powerful thing. I know that Ryan or Credo has really done well with that deck, and a lot of the Degenerate crew has been playing that deck for a long time, and so they really know how to work this deck to the best of its ability. But Eric is no slouch at this game, as many of you guys know, and he may not fall into many of the traps that many of us noobs at this game would fall into.
Yeah. cdubs doing the worship action right out of the gate with Freyhill. Sounds like he's going to try to do a little bit of damage to Brovlar as he goes into the dome here. Getting all this piercing damage to be able to whittle down Brovlar there.
Yep, doing
Flip
an attack.
1.
Yep. So 3 damage goes to Brilvar. It's all piercing.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think of this play to be right up in Brilvar's face? Is this just to get the revenge triggers here? As we noticed that
he's got a strength over pain that he's playing
played
as
a strength
well.
over pain,
which is good to take advantage of that shapeshift. I don't know why he got right next to Brovlar. Seeing that she has range, unless he has some other option.
Well, it does trigger the revenge, right? So when she loses the HP over strength over pain, she's going to get the revenge.
That's what it had to have been. So you want to be able to strength over pain to get the revenge trigger as well.
So
Brilvar, -1.
Probably not taken as much damage as cdubs would have liked here.
Mm-hmm.
But he still has an Lachlan to come in with some piercing damage.
Interesting setup that we have right now with having Freyhill and Brovlar like that. If Eric ends up putting any of his heroes on that edge, there's a chance that Zakol comes in and can push him out of the dome.
You bet. Yep, I think he's kind of setting it up, but I think Eric's going to be just fine with saying like Brilvar being able to taunt two heroes already.
Hmm.
I think he's fine if Brilvar melts here, if he can keep some of these other heroes alive.
Yeah.
All right,
Um,
so that
has
was
Eric been doing the revenge triggers for Brovlar?
it's a good question.
Did he
I
did he
don't
do
know
the
if I've
revenge
seen those.
triggers? I don't think he did because he had he flipped a +3 when he attacked Shalavi, I think,
But
with a skirmish.
maybe there's a chance that he chose not to. Um,
So it's
it
not
is a
this like
May.
revenge back and
Yep.
forth. Yeah. Yeah, probably didn't want to get into that battle with having piercing on Freyhill.
Sure. So looks like Eric's going with Freyhill, whose first action looked like it was to worship Korjoff,
Hmm.
and then moving into the dome and leading.
He's got to make sure he gets that lead in there. So far, cdubs has not led. So right now we can probably assume that that was most likely a 3. Meaning Zakol and Nelliclin are going to have to, one of the two are going to have to lead to make sure that they tie that dome.
Yep. Yeah, and the chat just kind of catching up here with us and letting us know that, yeah, it looks like that Eric did not trigger those revenge when Brilvar lost damage. And we'll be sure and ask him after the game to see if that was just a missed opportunity or if he intentionally chose not to trigger those.
Yeah, I think the back and forth, that little cat fight, is what would be probably a little more concerning. Like I said, especially with Freyhill being Freyhill has piercing where Brovlar does not. So in that trade-off, I think cdubs wins.
Well, what happens though is when Brilvar loses life, he can hit Shalavi and make that back and forth just go against Shalavi, who does not have armor.
True.
Um,
True.
so I think in the end, if they go back and forth with that, I think Brilvar wins that battle. But I think you're correct. If he's playing that game with Freyhill and the piercing, it is not a winning battle for Eric. But
Yeah. Might also be concerned with the flips, right?
sure.
Eric's deck doesn't have the grace of flips. He knows that, so he might know that he would just lose on the pure modifier standpoint.
Yep.
Looks like Zakol's going to be activating here next for cdubs. This will kind of free things up a little bit for Eric if cdubs goes in with Zakol, meaning he doesn't have to kind of keep his heroes into the center there and prevent them from being knocked out.
Right. Yep. Eric was playing around that, I believe, with his frail placement, which I think is the right thing to do. You don't want to lose this dome battle here, which is interesting with hunting for power on the board. I mean, this could very easily be a tie in the dome,
Hmm.
and we don't
Yeah.
see that. So, is there any chance that if cdub's deck is more on the flips, that he purposely lets Eric win the dome just to
To
get
bring
the
out the
outsider
hunting
out?
for power. Sure, I can see that. At the same time, that Terror this Knight can do a lot of work with disarming and slowing your heroes, kind of putting one out of commission.
Sure.
Um, so it's something to be aware of. It's just tough to give your opponent a whole activation if you have the opportunity to stop it.
Yeah,
So we got
I don't, it's just that with hunting for power, games
yeah.
change. It's a totally different game when that thing flips. So
To be honest, it's one of my favorite victory conditions, just because of how the stack can be built and have the reaction cards and the back and forth, and it's just this like very interesting puzzle that you can have every single time it comes out to the floor.
it looks like Zakol is swinging for 5. Frael is not shapeshifted at the moment. She's only going to block one of that. And someone in the chat was asking if cdubs ran Stone Barricade, and yes, he absolutely does run Stone Barricade in this deck. So Frail was pushed, but with Eric's placement, he's going to stay in the dome. And that's going to be it for Zakol.
With that final thing, it looks like, by the way, Nelliclin can probably skirmish, attack, and lead. Deal that damage and also get that lead if he needs to. Interesting point is now Korjov does have melee. So he would have to get to adjacent to the heroes if he wants to attack them.
Yeah, with his ability, he's going to be, when he activates, because he's shapeshifted, he's going to get the fast condition. So he's going to be able to move 5 spaces. He's going to be able to get wherever he wants.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not going to be a problem for Korjov.
I think it seems like maybe Freyhill would be a good option to go after because she's not shapeshifted, so you won't see those revenge triggers.
Yeah, I agree. And between, she's already at 14 HP.
Yeah.
And if you've got your... All right, but we're going to go with Shalavi with Eric.
Yep. Probably more of, blocking elements. If Korjov goes first, it might make Shalavi have less options of where to move. Seeing as most likely Eric's probably going to go to the kind of right side of the dome to move around that one side.
Nope, it looks like he's changing his
Korjov.
mind. Yep, going with Korjov. All right, going in with the move. Yep, I think you were right. Looks like he is maybe going to go after Frail there.
So that's attack 4 plus a flip.
It's going to be 5 piercing damage. And here's a skirmish. And Korjov's ability is going to give him +1 to this skirmish. All right, flip to 0, so it's still going to be 1 damage.
Yep, visibility. So moves into position. So the question is Nelliclin gonna lead when he comes into the dome? I feel like it's gonna be hard to kind of kill one of those heroes to get that advantage.
All right, so we're going to skirmish.
I think he's gonna go after Brovlar because of the temptation, right? Because of the shields. You want to use those mages against those tanks. He's also one of the lower health ones. However, he is shapeshifted.
Yep. Chad is asking, I think, if cdubs, does he run shove? Can you tell us that?
cdubs. I don't think he runs shove. I do not see shove on the list.
Okay. So we had a skirmish against Freyhill, who took 2 damage, and it looks like an attack for 5.
Yeah, 3 plus a flip.
Yep, and he didn't hit the action button, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Looked like he took 5 damage there.
Another strength over pain, double strength over pain,
All right,
round
so
1.
another strength over pain. Here we go.
That most likely is probably going to be a dead Freyhill.
Yep, attacking Freyhill with that frenzy. There's 6 damage.
She is gone. Now this gives him the advantage in the dome if he can lead with the 3.
And he's about to draw 2 cards.
The chat wanted blood and they get to see it.
You bet. RGA, hope you're feeling better, and I hope you're enjoying this and seeing the bloodbath.
What was this final action there? Bleed. Yeah, bleed from hand.
Yep. All right. So it's going to be up to Shalavi. So Freyhill only has 8 health. There's a world here where Shalavi can take that out. I don't know what Eric's
You gotta flip the 3s, I think.
Threes,
right?
but it's possible.
It's a possibility.
All right, so looks like Eric's gonna start with the skirmish. Now Lachlan is going to play a Sky Tear Discharge.
Ooh, great card.
He had the goods in hand. So he's letting Eric know, hey, if you want to come into this dome, you're going to take some pain.
Yeah, it's tough here. Because if he doesn't kill Freyhill, he goes in the dome and loses the dome.
Yep.
It's going to be a tough one here and take a lot of damage. Most likely, my guess is there's going to be 4 damage coming into Freyhill.
I think so.
Or to Shalavi, sorry.
Yeah, chat, thanks for noticing there about the tokens on the side of the board. Clinton did that just so that the chat, the people watching on the stream would know which side was lane 1 and which side was lane 2. All right, so Eric is saying, I'm going to go ahead and take the damage. So his skirmish flip is a 1, so it's just going to bounce off the armor.
Yep.
Shalavi's not shapeshifted, right? So there wouldn't be +1 to that. Well, all right, the Shalavi took, it looked like 3 damage there. All right, maybe they know something we don't know here.
Okay, the armor, but okay.
There we go. They got it.
Was the presence for attack? Or is that what was flipped? I think that's what was flipped. Yeah, that's what was flipped on the skirmish.
Yep. So
now
Eric's
he's going to
declaring an
attack.
attack. This is going to be 4 + 2 flips. So flipping a 0 and a 1,
5.
so 5.
So 4.
Yep. And then do you just move out of the dome here? No? Okay, we worship. Who we worshiping? Who? Well, and Freyhell's gone, so nobody's going to get any heals here.
I guess it's like, who do you think's going to get targeted, right? They're both at the same health.
So it looked like he...
It looks like he did Korjov.
Yeah, worship Korjov.
Makes sense. Maybe getting him with to be able to have the ability for a double kill. I think this is a good decision there. Worshipping Korjov makes it so that if you have the right cards in hand and stuff like that, to maybe go for the double kill with a mage.
Sure.
There's some options there, and both of his heroes that are lower are right next to Korjov.
All right, so my guess is we're about to go into control here. I don't know if maybe one of these guys has an end of activation trigger here that they want to play or card, but it looks like we're going to have ties on both lanes, and cdubs is going to win the dome.
Yeah, if he led with 3, right, he could have bluffed.
Sure.
His mana curve isn't as good as Eric's. However, with the extra kill plus 2 cards.
Okay, so it looks like Shalavi is playing a Nourish.
Oof.
Just heal up a little bit.
Yeah, mana-wise, he's at a 1.4 mana curve. So, but he did get 2 extra cards because of the kill. Giving him good options.
Yeah. And he pitched a few cards at the beginning, and so I'm sure he was looking for that 3 mana card.
Yep, there's the 3. And 3, they both led with Glacial Rebirth.
All right, so let's see what cdubs is going to do with the Terror of the Endless Night here. So what are your thoughts on the Terror in the 2-lane game? So I know I value him very, very highly in Ashen Pass. 2-lane, I tend to value him a little less, but I'm curious what your thoughts are on him.
I think he's still really good. I think he's better when there's more of a control victory conditions.
Sure.
But I do think he can be very good at kind of pulling someone out of the dome. I mean, the situation here is he could move in, deal a little damage to Kordjov, maybe pull him to disarm him, put him outside the dome, and then shove him into the corner with slow. And him being melee makes it much harder for him to get in there. Maybe even moving to that little hex next to Kordjov makes it really hard for him to come in as a melee character and deal damage to Nelliclin or Freyhill. So I think he's going to be able to do some work here. I anticipate seeing, like I said, that disarm on Kordjov and the slow on Kordjov. But he will get fast with Kordjov,
Yeah,
so
that
that
remind
maybe
me,
makes
Clinton.
it less.
Now that we're in the outsider phase, if the outsider runs in and damages Kordjov, is he going to be able to trigger revenge here?
He could, yes.
Okay.
He could trigger the revenge, because it still applies at this time. It's an interesting one. I don't think Eric doesn't, because I think Eric wants some commitment, if you will, from cdubs to see if he's going to try to do that kill. So that was 1 damage.
So it was a skirmish for 1, but he does have 1 armor because he's shapeshifted with Rolvar.
So that was.
So yep,
we're just a normal skirmish. It looks like he's going to perform Dreadful Majesty.
Yep. So I think this is a great play. Get him out of the dome and give him a disarm.
Yeah, yeah. And then most likely another push here. With applying slow.
Yep, the Nightmarish Roar.
So Nightmarish Roar is probably the last one. The problem is, I guess the way he does it, he can put the pattern to be able to show that.
Well, it looks like he is choosing to give Frenzy to Nelliclin.
Okay. Maybe to be able to pierce through the armor. It's an interesting one. I don't know. Does cdub go for the hunting for power right now? Or he's winning the dome. He's got a player advantage, right? He can maybe try to set up a double kill or prevent the double kill. I don't know if he needs to go after the hunting for power play.
Well, here's the thing.
Because he has other avenues.
It's round 2. I see a Nelliclin. I see a Flux. I see 4 heroes in the dome. That screams rampant hatred to me.
Yep. It could. It's a great play. I guess if you have that card in hand, that changes things. So us as commentators, we don't know all what's going on in the player's hands. So a lot of times we make judgment calls or plays or outs, but we don't have all the information. So we can only do as best as what we see on the board.
Yep, and he is going with Nelliclin right now.
So there is 1 in the discard already. So he only has 2 left. All of his strength over pains are gone. So like I said, he does have the option for 2 more. He can also blow up the pillar. This is going to be a big one for Nelliclin. The concern that cdubs has to be careful about is, does someone have the ability to snipe the kill right before the end? And most likely it would be a Shalavi who might be able to do that.
Yep. That was another good reason to pull Kordjov out.
So Nourish, Migraine are probably the 2 options to help prevent it.
All right, so we are going with a Nelliclin attack right off the bat.
Did he call out his target?
I don't know if he's done that yet. So my guess is he is going to be targeting the outsider, and he may be drawing that card. So that is 6 damage.
Yep. Right there. Oh, they're moving 2 of them.
Yeah, Eric was pretty quick to go ahead and.
I guess we'll track this one.
Yep. That'll work.
Oh, I know what I gotta do.
There we go.
There we go.
We got it. All right. So my guess is we're going to do the second attack here with
this
the frenzy.
Is the frenzy attack.
Yep. So he's going to get to draw another card.
Yeah. 2 cards draw.
Yeah, it's real
Even
good.
more dig. Another
Another
3.
3.
Wow.
He goes down to 6. If he happens to, oh, there it is.
It's
There's the
rampant.
flux.
And he gets
Rampant
2 skirmishes.
hatred, 2 skirmishes.
With +4.
Guys, I think this is going to be a quick stream.
Yep. So some of the outs that Eric might have is snow blinds, nourish, migraines. I think he would have already done the snow blinds or migraines maybe to create those disarms.
Yeah, because
he does have Nightmare Incarnate, so there might be an opportunity. The only problem is it's only going to do 2 damage with that shield.
So here's a snow
There's
blind.
a snow blind.
Okay.
Interesting.
Which I could maybe see him holding off on it until now, right? Just
yeah, let him kind of go all in, spend those efforts.
So Snowblind's going to disarm.
Oh, look at this. Got the new templates coming out.
So this is going to apply an AoE effect, hitting a few people.
Probably turn it 1 more is my guess. Yep. Hitting...
And I know that I feel like we have to do it every stream, but thank you, Tape, on this new update here. So this is still in testing, so this isn't out for everybody yet with the new AoE templates and stuff, but it's going to be a nice new addition once we get this, once it gets all the bugs worked out. But Disarm is going to be applied to Nalaklan, Zakol, and the Bear.
So he did apply that. So we still have the skirmish.
So that's going to be
from
a
the
6
rampant
down to 3 because of the disarm. And he's going to get to do it again. So here is where we're at. Shalavi cannot do 3 damage.
No, he can't.
Korjov could have, but he's got thrown out of the dome. So we're likely to see another skirmish attack here at +4. And here it comes.
Yeah, I mean, if it goes off, it's GG.
Yep.
The snowblind a little bit earlier, maybe when he did the frenzy, but there is no window when you do that frenzy resolve. You would have to do your snowblind before he does the frenzy.
So
it's tough with the double 3 flips.
Yeah.
Probably checking to see if he has a negative. I think all the Strength of the Pains are already in the discard, so his negatives are not out, I don't think. There's only 3. He has 3 negatives, and I think they're all already in there.
Yeah, everybody's digging in that discard pile to take a look.
There are 3 Strength of the Pains over there. Those are his only negatives. So it's piercing. He's going to have +4 on the skirmish. I mean, I guess he hasn't declared the other skirmish yet, right?
He clicked the button, but he's taken it back. So he could be rolling that back, or Eric maybe has said, I might have a reaction or something and needed some time. But yeah, he did take back the action button. I mean, I
guess he could also cast a sacrifice.
Well, he's now clicking the skirmish, so it looks like that's where we're going.
Bravlar. Or redirect? Yeah, it doesn't target, so you can't do that.
Yeah, I think a heal at this point is probably all that Eric may have left in his bag.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, he flips a 1, so that's going to be 5. Divide that by 2. It's still going to be the 3 damage I think that we need here, right?
Yeah. Well, he's got a shield.
But it's Nalaklan. It's piercing.
Oh, yeah, it's piercing. Yep, so that's 3.
And there it is. And there's the GG.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go jump in their chat and talk with them about this game.
I'll head over there.
All right.
and a half.
Well, guys, I think we just saw a terror take 18 damage in one fell swoop.
He helped him his own demise.
He sure did.
Yeah, the double flips. cdubs, you've been flipping double threes a lot recently. You need to slow that down a bit.
I know. I even did it against Michael earlier.
Oh man,
Yeah, I
that
didn't
was brutal.
Yeah, I told him.
Yeah.
I told Eric earlier that I'm getting lucky on some of the flips here.
Well, good game, guys. So one of the questions that I had was, Eric, in that round one, did you purposely not trigger revenge when Brilvar took damage there? Did you not want to
Correct.
Okay.
I didn't want to go back and forth with Frail when she's piercing, and I'm not.
Now, my thought was, when you take that damage, can't you hit Shalavi if you wanted to?
But Shalavi also has a shapeshift on, so.
Yeah, but don't you win that slap fight with your
Because
armor?
the shield.
Because I have armor actually against that one. Got it.
You have 2 armor or 3 armor versus his.
Got it. Yeah, I should have probably taken the extra damage on Shalavi.
Just
Shalavi was never my release target, so I
Sure.
wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about Frail and Nalaklan when he finally came in. But yeah, so I should have taken that free damage.
So,
Yeah, and then I think the math. My guess is the snowblind didn't come out until that damage got hit, but him flipping the 2 threes kind of probably threw that math way off, I assume.
Well, I mean, he's going to do enough damage. He's going to do 18 by the end of this round, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so much, can I stop the guy from dying? It's dying. Can I put him in a spot where I can snipe it, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So the first couple attacks, if I stopped him and he's like, no, instead I'm gonna kill your heroes, that might be worse for me, right? And he
Sure.
just like takes out my hero stuff. So I thought my bet. I mean, I was behind now, and I just had to hope to get lucky. I mean, there I have a nourish to prolong it, but I was like, if he flips the 0, for some reason in my math, I thought the 1 also would do it, and it'd be at 1 life, right? And then I could possibly get a snipe in because I get to move attack. He frails his sacrifice or whatever, and I can throw my migraine in there and maybe get a win. So I was just, I'm playing odds at that point, but I don't know what the right answer is.
Did you have a nourish in hand?
I have a nourish in hand, yeah. So Brilvar can cast a nourish, and I have a migraine also. Those are my 2 things.
Gotcha.
So, Chris, did you have rampant hatred going into that? Did you have that going into that round, or did you draw it when you did one of your attacks?
I had 2 from the start of the game.
Gotcha.
Oh wow! So you could have cleared you worship, clear it, and get to do it again.
Well, it's only round 2 though, so it'd be awesome if I could.
Yeah.
Oh
you
yeah.
only flux once.
Yeah, you can only flux once. Yeah, I forgot that. I thought it was round 3, but it was only round 2.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah.
Be still so broken finishing games like that early with 2 mana.
So this is 2 times in the last 48 hours that I've been destroyed on first activation of round 2.
By hunting for power?
Corito did it with a frail and a bunch of sacrifices, and cdubs now did it with Nalaklan and a bunch of sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was
Funsies.
debating on trying to maybe worship Frail with Shalavi and then go into Nalaklan.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I had double sacrifice in my hand, and just wait.
Sure.
So then I could just, if you try to snipe, then I try to snipe in response type thing.
Yep.
That probably would have been safer, but I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Sure. But I mean, and so maybe safer. But still, you have the sacrifices, so if I get close, you can at least heal.
Yes.
And
That's
so, the snipe is going to be hard to do regardless. But I didn't really have another plan at that point. I mean, after you've cast the Skytear, I was like, I can go to lane, and lane's not doing anything in this game. There's just no point.
Not enough time.
Yep.
Nope.
No, it was a great game, fast game. The audience wanted to see blood, and they got to see it spill out of the Terror of the Endless Night very quickly.
Well, congratulations, Chris, on winning the America's October Clash. Congratulations. Eric, way to go on getting to second place.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed watching the Skytear After Dark, and have a good Thanksgiving week for everybody in the U.S., and thanks for watching.
See you guys.
All right, we are out of here.